I'd like to call this meeting to order. The clerk, please read the statement.
This is a meeting of the Township Council for Monday, December 11, 2017. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public and the press on January 5, 2017. It was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-7.
Roll call.
Councilmember Kadish.
Here.
Councilmember Ullman.
Here.
Councilmember Rizzuto.
Here.
Councilmember Wetzel.
Here.
Council President Murphy.
Here.
Councilmember-elect Alberger.
Here.
Councilmember-elect Fantastic.
Here.
Please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, we have two presentations, and I would ask that if Councilmember Kadish would present plaques in appreciation and recognition to Council Members Rizzuto and Council Members Wetzel.
It's okay that we don't go up front since there's
You're
no
doing
press?
the presentation.
I was thinking about my service over the last 12 years when I realized you both were on this dais for half those 12. And Pat, as council president and as a member of the BOE, you served our town for more than 18 years.
21.
21, yeah. I'm sure, Dick, I don't know how many years you served as football coach, but that's certainly a service to this town.
About 15.
15 years.
Best record so
So you
far.
served way more than I have. But it's my honor to personally thank you both for your years of service to Vernon Township. Thank you, Councilman Pat Rizzuto and Councilman Dick Wetzel.
You're welcome.
Lauren has the, oh, they're right there.
What's that? Are these,
Their names are on the top.
Are you going to open it up?
Thank you. Thank you.
Those aren't those illegal Cuban cigars, are they?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, let's see.
I'd just like to say that when one door closes, another door opens. And this door is closed, and the door to Sussex Rural Electric Co-op is now open for all of my support that I can give to this particular organization, business, being on the board of directors. So, again, one door closes and another door opens, and life goes on. Thank you.
I'd like to say good.
As Mr. Kadish mentioned, it's been 21 years of service to this community. I've always felt that you should give something back if you are able to in some way. The initial time was spent with the Board of Education, and I enjoyed it immensely. And I became very, very close friends with the people who were not the administrators, but the people who worked in the schools and who ran the schools. And subsequent to that, after leaving that position, after 15 years, I became involved with the township, and in the 6 years, once again, it was not so much the administrators that I became to know, but the people who actually run this township, the clerks, CFO, tax collector, clerks. These are the people who you become to rely upon, and you can assure the township that the township's affairs are in good hands, regardless of who sits up at the dais. So I want to tell the people of Vernon it's been an honor and a privilege to have served them in this capacity. And as while Mr. Wetzel goes to Sussex Rural Electric, I've got James, Christian, and Liam, who are going to get more of my time, my triplet grandsons. And I'll probably be doing some more flying and building my airplanes. So. See you.
And I just wanted to say thank you both for serving all these years, and I wish you all the luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
We're not finished, Madam President. Tonight we near the end of a 4-year term. It would be a rare day if it went by without you and I having a discussion about town business between us, and often many took place during one day. Most were fruitful, some combative. On the other hand, so many other conversations never took place because we often have of similar mind. But of one thing I'm certain, I've come to realize and recognize your deep commitment to loyalty, ethics, and transparency. You also have an enviable ability to focus on issues and have a wide range of contacts with so many Vernon residents. And you volunteer after a day's work for good-hearted causes such as Meals on Wheels. These are qualities so rare in government. I hope this plaque represents the appreciation we have for your efforts as council president this year. Thank you, Gene Murphy.
Thank you.
Open it up and let's see. Time's up.
Ticking. Mine's ticking.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
We're matching.
Good. I'm glad it's not a plot. I got too many
You all
of
will
them.
know the time.
They're all-
Thank you very much. Serving as president?
What's that?
All right, I'll deal with that later.
More-
Sorry, now I may open it up. That is very nice.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Next, we have public comments. May I have a motion to open the floor to public comments?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to step up and address?
Hi, Audrey Falgaris, Lake Panorama Community Association.
Daniel J. Story, Lake Panorama Community Association.
We just came to follow up with last month when we were here regarding our wall. I have some pictures if any of you would like to see it. And we're trying to come to some sort of agreement to get this situation resolved. Danny's been in contact with the mayor and the business administrator. We're trying to get together to have some sort of conversation and come up with, something, I hope.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for us?
I know I did ask the mayor what was going on, and I know I was basically told that it was in the hands of administration and the zoning officer because it became, it is a zoning issue. So I'm not necessarily sure what.
They've made several attempts to try to schedule with us, and we haven't been able to come up with a date. But as I spoke to them early before the meeting, that we hope to do that within the next week or so.
Would anybody like to see the pictures and just have
Yeah, I'd like
some
to see
idea?
I actually drove by too, just to.
And just something that wasn't mentioned at the last meeting, in one of those pictures, you'll see a drain, and it's a township drain, and it was totally covered with earth and not useful at all. And when this whole project went on, that drain was all cleaned out, cleared up, and now is functional. So it'll help eliminate the ice that accumulates on the road there. in the winter.
Yeah, debris from the mountain covered it over through the years. When we cut it back, we found it.
Yeah, this doesn't have it.
That doesn't have it. Did you see it there?
Yeah, saw them last time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tony and Ari passed out pictures last time.
What has been the scope of your comments with the township administration?
Just trying to get a day where we can all meet and try to come to some resolve on the issue. That's why we're here today, to tell the council that we are working on it and diligently to try to come to a happy medium with the issue.
Certainly a nice-looking one.
And that it is. And that it is because, you know, a lot of time went into it. We actually, that spot particularly, I lived in Vernon for my whole life. And I remember when Ann Etzel, who was our first tax collector back in the day, when the township took that road over many years ago. It used to be owned by the Panorama. But that particular spot has a lot of roll-off and rocks and debris going into the road, even when I worked on the Vernon Township Road Department. And it was always a problem then. This actually holds back a lot of stuff from coming into that intersection, believe it or not. So we're just trying to find a resolve that we can all be happy with, along with the town and the residents of Panorama.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you will be hearing from within the next week, this week, probably.
Is that the reason you constructed the wall, was for things coming off the side of the mountain there?
Well,
and
a
the
little
ice?
bit of both. The fact is, there's nothing saying where Lake Panorama is. Years ago, there was one right on 565 in front of Everett Martin's farm. That's how far I go back. And it said this way to Lake Panorama. And we always had a sign designating where the lake was. Right now, there really isn't nothing unless you know the area, saying where the lake is.
And then we did have one prior to the wall. That was on the side of the road of going in on Winding Hill Drive, as soon as you came into the lake, which became just an eyesore, and people used it for all sorts of things, and it was a mess and looked horrible. And with all the foreclosures, this was partially done in order to make things look better, more appealing, and hopefully sell off some of those homes that are empty.
How high is the wall?
The bottom
Under
is
4
about
feet?
3'6".
3 foot 6 inches?
Yeah.
So it's under 48 inches.
Is that both the steps? Or the,
Yeah, it's one tier and then there's another tier.
so combined, they're 3 point something?
The bottom one is 3'6".
The second one is set back, which is only what, John?
Yeah.
3 feet back, about 3.
So you have a little over 3 feet on the first one, and then the second one is 3 feet.
And the proposed sign would be there, saying, "Welcome to Lake Panorama."
And how was the height of those walls determined? I mean, why did you make them 3 feet 6 inches?
Well, to stay under the cap, we were trying to stay under, thinking what we were doing.
We didn't have direct contact, Danny and I personally, with anyone, but Tom Malaro had handled that, and he had contacted the town prior to the project to find out what that it couldn't be over 4 foot, and that's where that came from. But I don't know the exact conversation. I wasn't there, so.
All right. What would be the outcome on this, were there to be a problem? Could the situation be adjudicated as a problem that was unacceptable?
Well, we'd like to explore the options that they're willing to go forward with. I know there was mention made at the last meeting and speaking privately with Dan that they were interested in perhaps purchasing the property behind where the wall is presently, because presently it's in the right-of-way.
How far into the right-of-way?
I was out there personally and saw it, but I did not measure it. I would say It is just off of the paved section of the roadway. The right-of-way, my understanding is it extends another 10 feet beyond that.
We actually gained more roadway from what it used to be.
By putting up the wall?
Yeah, we pushed, actually, it's back further. So you got, because the drain was found, that I didn't even know existed until we found it, because all the debris and the leaves, which happens. It's only nature doing what it's got to do. But we wound up pulling it back and pushing it back. 65 feet from the road.
This is John, he's also a member of the board, and he took some measurements of the road, so.
Would you want to see my schematic? Yeah. The issue is from the wall.
Excuse me, your name is?
My name is John Timchak. I'm also a board member with the lake. It's 65 feet from Panorama right after the fork up to the wall. It's 65 feet. The roadway, when you come into the lake, is only 24 feet. All right? And then at the fork, it's 24 going up Winding Hill to the right, and Panorama is 27 feet, and then it narrows down. I'm 27 feet before you reach into the fork there. So it's very wide right there. Over the years of the dirt rolling down, it covered the drain, as we mentioned earlier, that we actually increased the roadway after we put the wall up, believe it or not, because the dirt was all down there. It covered the drain. We didn't even know there was a drain there. So we actually kind of helped the township out.
There was also a tree in the road. I don't know if anyone remembers back that far, but Lake Panorama had a tree in the middle of the road, a Panorama Drive there. That's why that road is so wide, because there was
A big oak tree many years ago.
huge tree right in the middle of the road. It was a shame to see, though, but it's no longer there, so that's partially the reason the road's so extra wide.
Chuck, is there a problem for the council to waive the situation? Would there be a problem? Meaning just accept it as it is, with the understanding that in the spring, you mentioned possibly repurchasing or purchasing some of these lots, that would be conditional upon that?
I think that goes to
Waiving
the
what
attorney.
exactly? I don't understand.
I'm sorry?
You said waiving what exactly?
I mean, you're coming to the council and telling us that there's a problem. A mistake was made, they admit to it, and they're saying, is there any way that we can, look past that with the understanding that they would like to purchase the purchase the property, and allow us to say it's okay, waive the situation?
I think Mr. Zelinski
I think
would
without
have-
we haven't had a chance to have any discussion. So
Excuse me, Chuck.
No, I think,
Yeah.
Chuck, you're correct. There needs to be a conversation with the lake as well. From what we've heard and what the lake acknowledged at the prior meeting is the sign and the structure's actually in the right-of-way. So that needs to be dealt with first. So I think there needs to be a conversation with the business administrator to get a better understanding of what the proposal is.
Yeah,
But I mean, right now, it's in the right-of-way. I'm not quite sure how you rectify that.
They've eliminated a potential problem, and I can't see them having to tear the wall down.
I think
There has to be
that's a
some types of
possibility.
alternatives that can be put into place.
I think that you would probably like to have a conversation with the zoning officer as well, because I don't think you have the full scope of the problem at this point. There's more information that you are not aware of.
In what regard?
That when the wall was built, before it was even completed, it was on the first day, the zoning officer notified them and put a stop work order on the job, and then they continued to build the wall anyway. So they could have mitigated their damages by not building the wall when they were told to stop by the zoning officer.
Excuse-
The township sign out of the ground, a stop
I
sign
I
and
actually,
traffic sign.
That's not true.
Which is actually a criminal offense.
Absolutely not true.
Well, I think this conversation's gone far beyond public comment, and I think that it would be wise to meet with the business administrator.
Could I address that? because that's not true.
Well,
Well, what
I-
happened?
I-
I'd like to know.
I'd like to hear.
That stop work order was put up after the wall was done, as much as it is now. There's even still a portion of the orange sign stuck in it. It's in the pictures. Yes, the sign was taken down because there was no sense having the sign blow away, so it was taken down, but we did not go beyond and do anything after that wall, after that sign went up there. So
That sign was put up by the construction officer after it was done. We're talking about the zoning officer coming upon the location and then giving that order to the people that were working on it. There's two different things that you're discussing here. And again, I don't think we've gone beyond public comment on this, so.
Dialogue would be with you
Correct.
and
Yep.
resolve that issue.
okay, thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the council? Seeing no one else, may I have a motion to close?
Motion?
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Volker, is there a mayor's report?
There is no mayor's report, but on a personal note, I would like to also thank Mr. Rizzuto and Mr. Wetzel for their service to this community over a number of years. Thank you.
I have a question. Recently, I understand that bids to let for the maintenance agreement for the VTMUA. Were they received back?
Yes,
Were they open?
yes.
What were the results?
The results were there was only one bid that was submitted.
How much was that?
That was over $200,000.
You don't have the exact amount?
I don't have the exact amount. I wasn't present for the opening.
Can you get it?
Sure.
And how much? So there was only one bid? There wasn't anything else?
The discussion I had with Mr. Serbo was that there were, I think, at least 6 or 7 that actually came and got the paperwork. I think at least 5 or 6 took the tour with them to go over all the, to see all the assets that would have to be taken care of, and that there was only one bid received. When I asked him about what happened with the others, he told me that 2 of the contractors told him that they chose not to place a bid because of, as what he told me, again, this is what he presented to me, that there was political turmoil here.
That's an understatement.
Did the township submit a bid?
The township did not submit a bid.
They did.
Was necessary because we had the agreement that we could go forward with.
And how much can the town do it for?
Excuse me?
How much can the town do it for?
170 something.
It's, for just straight time, it'd be 158,000. That doesn't include overtime.
Does that include the stipend as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So could that be considered as a bid?
I don't know how you could because it wasn't part of the process, but we are going to go forward with that.
So you are.
Yes.
So when were the bids open?
I believe it was the week after Thanksgiving. I wasn't,
Been more than 2 weeks.
yes.
Why wasn't it not brought to the council's attention? I mean, why? This situation, in my mind, should be settled by this council, not by a new council.
Well, then you can address that with the mayor.
No, I
So
think
if
we
we
can
can-
address that if we want to, by
Well-
making a motion to accept the township's situation of $158,000. Based upon you said that, you said.
We
it
don't
was-
have anything on the agenda, and I really think you're grasping at straws now. You can
Excuse me,
address,
Mrs.
you
Murphy,
can
I'm
address
not-
this,
I-
you don't
I'm
have a
not- I'm
contract in
asking
front of
questions
you.
of the business
You're right, but
administrator,
you're taking
and
the.
you're telling me I'm grasping at straws.
You're
I'm
taking-
simply wondering why, as a council, when bids were received, We did not receive any copies of them. I'm wondering why.
You had this information, why didn't you address it with the mayor during the day?
The mayor, this is part, I would think, of
I'd like to move the
mayor's
meeting
report.
forward.
No, I'm not going to allow you to move on.
I'm going to move on. I'm moving on to the
questions are
consent
addressed.
agenda.
As a matter of fact,
I'm moving
I
on
think-
to the consent agenda.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to allow you. Excuse me.
Resolution 17-218.
Finish speaking.
He's not.
Excuse
He's
me.
carrying on to want to vote on something that's not on the agenda.
So
We don't
what-
have a contract.
what-
You don't have a contract. You don't have anything in front of you, and you want to take a vote.
Yes, we could take a vote
You know what?
because it's been said to us that the township could do it for $158,000,
You have
which
not
is
been-
substantially less.
And you have
than
not been
what the
presented
other-
to it. You
the
have
other
not been
bidder did.
presented
By the
to
way,
it.
who was the name of the other bidder? You know?
I don't have that at hand. We only had the meeting with the VTMUA a week ago today, and they have not even presented any findings to their commissioners yet, so there's nothing really to move forward with at this point in time, is my understanding.
On to the consent agenda. Resolution 17-218, Chapter 159, resolution requesting approval of revenue and appropriations, amending the 2017 budget as a revenue and appropriation of $5,500. This accepts the grant money for the holiday crackdown. Resolution 17-219, transfer resolution, balance transfer. This authorizes transfer of balances within township accounts as allowed in the last 2 months of the year. Resolution 17-220, resolution authorizing the cancellation of appropriation reserve balances, Snow Recovery Trust. This resolution and 16-221 allow for the cancellation of appropriations for storm recovery and compensated absences respectfully. Resolution 17-221, resolution authorizing the cancellation of appropriation reserve balances, compensated absences. Resolution 17-222, temporary budget, debt service. This resolution authorizes payment of the debt service which is paid for the first of the year. Resolution 17-223, authorizing 2018 health insurance plan, Horizon. This renews the township's current health insurance plan while the township is preparing to go to the state health benefit program on March 1st, 2018. Resolution 17-224, resolution to accept or reject bids for nonconforming properties auction. This authorizes the town to accept and reject bids from the recent auction held on December 6th. Resolution 17-225, resolution to adopt provisions of Chapter 48. This authorizes the township to adhere to the rules of the State Health Benefits Commission. Resolution 17-226, resolution to authorize participation in the State Health Benefit Program. This authorizes the township to join the state's program at a significant savings to the township. Resolution 17-227, resolution to elect an employer premium delay option. This allows the township to delay paying its premium for the state health benefit plan if it so chooses. Resolution 17-228, resolution for local employers to limit medical plans offered. This allows the township the opportunity to limit the providers for health insurance for ease of administration. May I have a motion to adopt Resolution 17-218 through 17-228?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Cady?
Yes.
Councilmember Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Rizzuto?
Yes.
Councilmember Wetzel?
Yes.
Council President Murphy?
Yes. Next, we have items for discussion. The bills list review. All the council members have received a copy of the bills list. Are there any comments?
Yeah, just a question. What is the recreation purchased out of the trust fund? A black granite memorial stone?
It was a donation for a plaque for a tree that's going to be donated in the spring. It was for Dave Polis's father. The employees put together money, so it costs $100 to do a donation. And that purchase was for the actual plaque. So we gave the Recreation Trust Fund $100, and $74 is for that plaque. And we'll be doing a ceremony in the spring once we can plant over at Veterans Park.
And where's it going?
Going to be at Veterans Park.
Oh, okay. Great, thank you.
Any other questions on the bills list? Council comments? Councilmember Wetzel? Did you have any comments?
Are we going to vote on this?
Well,
Okay.
There's nothing to vote on.
Have a very,
Well, there's-
have a very Merry Christmas.
There's no resolution on the agenda. Per the attorney, it's not a legal to even vote on.
This council has no authority to approve. It's already been
How
adjudicated.
is it illegal? I don't understand
Well,
this.
Sally Rinker filed excuse me if I may, Sally Rinker filed a lawsuit to require the bills list to be voted on. She was defeated. There's a published opinion that talks about in this form of government that the the council has no authority with respect to the bills.
But we could do, I mean, it's not illegal to do it.
It absolutely is unlawful under this form of government. That is the difference between this town and other towns.
All these forms of government that are doing it are doing something illegal?
No, they are different forms of government
But there is Faulkner Act towns that vote on their bills list.
that have different forms of government.
No, they're Faulkner.
Well, but
Faulkner, there's different forms under the Faulkner Act. If you'd like, we can provide the memo again to the governing body.
Yeah, could you send me the court case?
Sure.
You were provided that, the court case? Everybody was given a copy. I made sure that everybody had a copy
Are
of
you
that.
talking, what,
It's Sally Rinker versus Vic Morata.
in there, it said that nothing compels you to do it. To me, there's a lot of things that we're not compelled, or we're compelled to do or not do. It doesn't say it's illegal, it just says you don't have to if you don't want to.
It is, I understand your interpretation. It's this council's opinion that it's unlawful for this council to approve the bills list.
I disagree totally, disagree.
Welcome to Animal Farm.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Wetzel, you were...
I said Merry Christmas.
You said Merry Christmas.
To a standing room only crowd.
Councilmember Rizzuto?
Other than wishing everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, by the way, will there be a meeting prior to the reorganization?
I guess we'll have to see if there's anything to put on the agenda. I mean,
I'm telling you, I do not intend to come, Mr. Wetzel.
Probably not.
Okay.
and I guess we will be canceling, is that December 28th? So we'll be canceling the December 28th meeting,
And when will the reorg be?
January 1st.
It will be this year, January 1st?
It's, yeah, I think that was scheduled already.
12 noon.
At noon. Councilmember Ohms, comments?
Don't go away mad, just go away.
Yeah, I just have a quick question for Elka. What's the fund balance?
The fund balance? I don't have my year closed out yet. I have to wait till all the revenue comes in and all the expenses come in before I can calculate that. Right now, it just has what we had last year minus the fund balance we anticipated. So nothing's been regenerated as far as, I don't do that on a monthly basis. It's done at the end of the year.
Oh, so we don't know if we're on target for increasing it?
It depends what taxes come in this month.
Hmm.
Councilmember Kadish?
I'd just like to remind everybody that Reads Across America will be taking place on the 16th,
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Is that it?
That's it. And Merry Christmas.
I would just like to thank Councilmember Kadish for his kind words.
You're welcome.
And wish everybody a happy holiday. See you on January 1st. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Absolutely, yes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.